Well, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on here, and we know you're busy. You have lots of things to do. And of course, I'm going to tell our audience that it was your birthday yesterday so that they can all type in the comments below
It,
and wish you a happy birthday.
well, thank you. And it was no joke.
There you go. And if you would just take maybe 30 to 40 seconds or so and share a little more information about you and that, something that I haven't shared with the audience and that we're probably not going to get in during the interview. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go over to my other computer and share onto my personal time line.
Absolutely. So, hello, everyone. So, my name is Giselle, and I am a California native. I grew up in California and lived there my whole life. And I've recently been in the Las Vegas area now for the past 2 years. I got married to my husband, and we are big fitness fanatics, nutrition fanatics. So I'm looking forward to talk to you guys about nutrition and mental wellness. And in addition, I've got two daughters, and I inherited two stepdaughters. So there are four girls in our family. Crazy stuff.
You said four girls in your family?
Four girls. My husband has two daughters, and I have two daughters, and they're all 17 and 20.
Oh, I'm nothing personal, but I'm glad I don't live in your house.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I can agree.
I have two boys and two daughters. They're all married, but I do have a daughter and her husband, two of their kids living with us right now, which I love because I love having the grandbabies around me.
Oh, they're so much fun, I'm sure.
They are, that's the reward for being a parent and putting up with the, not killing your kids as they're teenagers.
Oh, yes. You try not to.
Hey, just before we get started, I'd like to remind our guests, our viewers that are watching today, if this is the first time to today's mental wellness show, please like the channel so that you never miss an episode. Also, like and share today's show, whether you're watching live or watching on a replay, because you never know who needs this information, and you may very well be an answer to their prayers. And then, of course, please leave questions. Would love to answer any questions that you have going on today. And if you're watching the replay, just type them in the comments anyway, and we will get back to you on that. So let's jump right into this. Now, I was reading some information about you. I learned that you were a medical sales rep and then went into the nutritional consultant counselor role with one of the, if not the largest, nutritional supplement companies in the world. And you can tell me which if you want. And now you're playing in the field of mental wellness. And so just share with us, if you would, that story, because to me that's very interesting. That's kind of like doing a 180 or maybe even a 360. I don't know.
Yes, I would love to. So I entered the pharmaceutical industry, and it was my first official professional job about 15 years ago. And I had no clue what I was getting myself into, but I knew that it was a good paying job and it was stability. And at that time, I felt like I will be helping people. And so, in hindsight, after working in the pharmaceutical industry for a good 10 years, I realized that it was a robotic job. I was pitching a drug to a symptom. And little did I know, I had no education on how the body truly works. And because of that lack of knowledge, I was just doing my job. And all I knew was Western medicine. I had no clue that there was another side, the opposition of Western medicine, which is Eastern medicine. And so when I got laid off from my pharmaceutical job, I was left with, this bewilderment of what am I going to do now? I could continue to go into another medical sales position, but luckily I was sought out by a popular company based out of San Francisco. And I interviewed with them, and it was a clinical nutrition consultant position. And of course, at the time for me, what did I know? Again, I had no knowledge of this natural holistic approach. And so I stepped into their doors. I learned of their philosophies and their mission statement and holistic medicine, and I was blown away. And that is when I transitioned from Western medicine to Eastern medicine and healing the body from, within. And that led me to this journey of really gaining knowledge and education and insight on, wow, we can actually heal our bodies from a holistic approach. And so, in a nutshell, then where I'm at today is even another level of holistic mental wellness, because it's not just the body, but it's the mind as well. And as we know, the body and the mind are connected. And so now, jumping into this new company currently, I am now being able to educate myself even further on this company's philosophies and vision to be the #1 mental wellness company.
Cool, thanks. That's really, I bet going from the medical field into the nutritional field was a pretty big transition for you.
Huge. A part of me felt like I was kept from this information. And I know that there are many of us out in the world who don't know that there are other options. And, I was just like the others, where we get caught up in this dependency of, pitching a drug to a symptom, and we become just these customers that go back for more because you need that relief. And what you don't know, you don't practice. So I am so glad that I learned of the other side, the good side.
Good. Well, we're glad you learned of the good side too. And not,
Yes.
And we're not going to diss Western medicine. It does lots of great things.
Absolutely.
But we also know that Eastern medicine plays a very important role in our lives. So
Yes.
In an earlier discussion that you and I had, you shared with me that you had suffered from some type of pain, and we didn't really get into it. You just kind of mentioned that on the side. And so what type of pain was that? How did that affect you and your mental health, mental wellness aspect?
Sure. So most of my life, I have always been pretty healthy. I've been very fortunate to feel healthy mentally and physically. And last October, I was in an accident with a semi, and that caused me to have some neck injuries. And of course, the domino effect to that was pain in my neck, kind of in my shoulder area. And it was constant. It was annoying and frustrating and aggressive enough that it took over my life, in the sense that the lifestyle that I live, I work out religiously. I could no longer work out for a good while. I was in pain. I couldn't sleep, the normal way that I used to. I couldn't sit in a long, position for too long. All of these normal things for me became just a hinder, and it became aggravated, and it became frustrating. And had I continue to have this pain for, sometimes we accept the pain that we get and we decide, okay, this is my reality. But for me, I didn't want that to be my reality. And of course, in retrospect, the options were, okay, here's some pain management medication to get you through when you do feel that pain, and or some injections, and well, just get through it. And for me, because of how I think now, that wasn't acceptable to me, because for me, pain was not my normal. It wasn't my lifestyle, and I had to change that. And I can definitely say, if I were still dealing with the pain now, it still comes and goes. I could get depressed because it altered my life. I couldn't work out like I used to anymore. I've had to modify a lot of the types of forms of movements that I do in the gym. And I can only imagine an individual who is dealing with constant pain, that there's no sense of hope and healing. So yes, it can definitely take a toll on you mentally, psychologically. And for me, it could definitely go that route. And I chose to not.
Well, good. Yeah, and I'm just going to share my story real quick, just for our viewers. And again, before I do, if you're just joining us, please leave your comments and questions below, and we will answer those. But when I was 14, I was growing up on a farm and used to have to move irrigation pipe to water the crops.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I injured my back, went to the doctor. They just said, well, you've strained it, it'll get all better. But that back never did get better. And then, I've done a few things naturally throughout the life that has helped heal, or at least minimize that pain in my back. But for 2 years, there was another pain in my back that would not go away. And it was a different pain. It was more muscle, tendons, I don't know what it was, but it was just there. And, I went to chiropractors, had acupuncture, had special shots that was supposed to help, heating pads, creams. And one day in church, I was sitting there. I'd get up, walk back and forth across the back, come sit down for a couple minutes, get up, walk back and forth. And afterwards, one of the ladies that was sitting behind me made a comment, said, "Is your back bothering you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's killing me for like 2 years now."
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, this is a little weird, but would you be willing to try some veterinarian liniment?" And of course, I was about 30 pounds heavier then, and I thought, well, I'm pretty big, but I'm not like a horse. but I was desperate, and I tried, and so I'd put that on, and that would numb it or dull the pain for a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
it would never go away. And so I can tell you when you're in pain for that long,
Yeah.
that your whole mental wellness perspective will change.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's just being grumpy and yelling at the kids and the spouse, yelling at the telemarketer that calls you at the wrong time, or being the poor door-to-door sales guy. I confess,
Yeah.
I've yelled at all of them. And
It's a domino effect, isn't it?
it is. And of course, then you feel bad, and you kind of go into this downward spiral, knowing that you're a better person than that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that poor solar man salesman on the front steps, he didn't deserve that. He just happened to walk up and knock on the door at the wrong time.
Right.
And as we go on through this interview, I'll probably have time to share the rest of that story. And so we'll just kind of go from there and come back to that to finish that off. But what So why don't you share with us a little more what you have done, or, I'm under the impression now that you've been able to minimize most of that pain.
Hmm.
And so what is it that you've done to minimize or eliminate that pain so you can get back to your life of exercising and chasing the kids and just having fun?
Yes. So I, I was presented with that very same question for myself because um, I was in fact in pain, and we all want that immediate pain relief. And so I was sent to the pain management doctor and I got my pain meds, and I took one or here every now and then because again, I had this mentality that no, I don't want to take, pharmaceutical medication. I'll do okay. I'll be fine without it. But of course, when it was really aggressive, I needed it. And however, though, because the company that I'm currently with actually has a pain relief product, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a try. I really want to be able to see and feel, to be able to feel um, how effective this organic natural product works for me, and the fact that it's what I prefer. And so I started to take the pain relief and from, this mental wellness company. And I kid you not, it has this pharmacological immediate effect without the synthetics and without the chemicals. And I felt just alleviated. And I thought, oh my goodness, how can something that is um, holistic, as many might say, no way, but it was working quickly. And not just that, but it also had, um, it's restoring my body at the same time, not just helping with the pain, but it's healing from, deep within. And so for me, I thought this is the route for me to take. This is what I want over something that is just going to give me just immediate relief. And then I have to take it again and take it again and take it again. So that was my experience. And I won't go back. There's no way, especially when something this effective and this natural works.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads into the perfect place for me to share the rest of my story. And because we both use the same pain reliever, and we're going to reveal it to everyone in just a minute. So just relax and you got to stay with us. But I was at a meeting, an all-day meeting. And of course couldn't sit. So I'm walking the back and along the halls again. And at the end of the day, my friend, his wife won a bottle of this Relief Plus product. And so, and I hadn't tried any of their products yet. And so I just said, okay, that's free. So you have to share that with me. And of course, she put out 4 capsules. And of course, I had 2 thoughts. The first one was, well, you tightwad. And the second one was 4 capsules is not going to be any good, have any advantage, because I don't know about you, but prior to that, I had tried different natural remedies for my different aches and pains.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go a week or even 2 weeks before I would start to experience anything. And then really all it was just kind of a numbing of the pain a little bit. It wasn't eliminating it. And so I said, okay, how many capsules do I take? And she said 2, and I swallowed those down and drank some water, and then they brought me home. And the ride home was only 12 to 15 minutes. And I got out of the car and I started walking to the house, and I'm like, I think that stuff's working.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, it's not working. It's just in my head. It can't work that fast, and it's not even going to work, period.
Mm-hmm.
I had zero hope in it in reality. And about an hour later, my pain was 100% gone. And I was shocked. And of course, everyone's body's different. They all adjust, use things differently. So my results aren't typical. And, but everyone I've given a sample to or let use that has had amazing results. And my wife has a bum knee, and she loves the product. So I'm going to go on here. I was just looking here to see if we had any comments or questions. And we have Lane Dockstetter, welcome. Courtney Moses Shepherd, welcome. Jamel, welcome. What has been the benefits for you in using a more holistic product over medication or over the counter for health purposes?
Good question. The benefits are so worth it. The benefits are these, especially with the products that I'm currently using. They've become my staple because not only does the product line have a gut-brain axis formulation, and of course, that could lead into another conversation, what that entails. But when you have a formulation that targets your gut, which is to be known as where a lot of our health issues can arise from, then you're not only healing the body, but you're also assisting it to communicate more effectively. And so people begin to get better versus feeling better. And so for me, and the way I think and what I've experienced in my life in using products for myself and helping others is that people want to get better. They don't want to just feel better temporarily. To me, that is a ripoff of our health. We want to feel happy, and when we are feeling great, we are happier. And we're able to live on with our lives and work effectively and take care of our families more effectively. And so, this notion of the pain's going to come back can be a scary thing, and it can be frustrating because it's just around the corner. And so to be able to say, oh my goodness, I'm actually getting better. I'm feeling better. My symptoms are minimizing. I have mental clarity. I have physical strength that I didn't have before. I'm able to get out of bed. That is the lifestyle that I want, and I know we all want. That is the body, mind, and soul connection that we all want. And so the products that I've been using have given me that. That is the gift that I've given my health, my mind, and my body. And it's out there for the taking.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe if you're up to it, we'll have an encore show later down the road, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. And we'll just talk about the gut-brain axis if you'd be up to that.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing that's new science is revealing that a lot of people don't know about, and if they have heard of it, they don't really understand it.
Sure.
And so we'll let's just kind of wrap it up here with one final question. But you keep referring to this mystery company.
Uh-huh.
And so let's spill the beans. And what has been your personal experience with using the Amare products? Obviously, you've shared some with us, but go ahead and share some more experiences. And of course, I'll turn around and share some of my personal experiences as well.
I would love to. So like I mentioned before earlier in this live video, I mentioned that I came from pharmaceutical sales to clinical nutrition sales and worked with a company that was a top-notch company. But once I learned about Amari Global, um, it took nutrition and clinical nutrition and holistic medicine to another level, because they have truly found such a gold mine in the formulation of their products. And absorption rate has been a huge issue with nutritional supplementation. People are not absorbing as well. And so that was one aspect of this company that I was able to learn, that when we absorb the nutrients and the minerals in our bodies, then we're able to feed our body and feed our gut what it's thriving and needing. And that's when you start to heal. So absorption was a huge thing that I encountered. And then also the, like I mentioned, the pharmacological effect, quick results with natural products, organic products. You know, a lot of people worry about side effects. You know, I'm going to take this medication, but I'm worried that I'm going to have to deal with other side effects. And so then it becomes this vicious cycle that you started off with health issues, but now you've got more health issues. And for me, in learning about Amari Global, is that it's